Welcome back to the Dave Knows Comics live stream. I'm your host, David Lee. So, welcome to the really big show. And back by popular demand, we have the $15 Who You Got game. Now, this time, as requested, we are featuring those merry mutants of Marvel, the Uncanny X-Men. And this is going to be a little bit different than what we normally do, so don't worry, your eyes do not deceive you. Hey there, Ben Espinosa. This field next to me is indeed blank, so don't think, hey there, Katie Moore, so don't think I had a massive mess up here. I actually am totally intentionally having it blank because, as I said, what's up, Ron Hawthorne? We're going to be playing the game a little differently today. Let's give some time for people to file into the chat and before we get to playing. Now, so let's go over rules. Now, as you guys already know, we'll go over rules. I'm sure you guys are aware of it, but for anybody joining us here for the first time, let's go over the simple rules. And it's that, as you can see, there are different tier levels here for the $15 that you have as said on top of the game. $15. So each tier level has a different price point. Hey there, Dale Santaford. Different price point. You only have $15 and you have to choose which X-Men do you want on your perfect, ideal, most resourceful, and best possible X-Men team. Okay, so you're looking to make the most resourceful, the best possible option, the most economical, the smartest, and the greatest choice possible for your team. But you only have $15 to do so, and you have these different amounts. Hey there, Samurai Productions. But as you can see, on today's game, there is nothing on the board. There's nobody here. Why? Well, because we are going to be doing things slightly different. I'm going to be revealing the tier systems to you one at a time. You still have to play. And so when you see the bottom, we're going to start from the bottom on up. And when we start from the bottom, you got to make your choice. Do you want to make your purchases now, or are you going to hold off for a more expensive X-Men later on down the line? And here's the thing, you can't go back and you can't change your answers. And furthermore than that, if you are not interested in buying anybody at the last level, you can't go back and say, hey, well, you know what, I want a bunch of these guys from a lower level. Nope. You made your choices. Who you have at the end. Your only options are either to buy the guy at the end, buy the people that you can at the end, or buy no one. And you still don't know who I have and when. So the problem is, you might be holding on and saving your money for somebody really big that you think is going to be on the top tier, but they might not be. Or you might say to yourself, there's no way this person's going to be on this list, and I really like that X-Men, but he's probably too obscure, or she's too obscure. I'm going to hold on to them. And I'm just going to blow, I'm going to spend all my money now, not worry about the top tier. And then you find out at the top tier, oh no, they are there. Oh, why'd I waste my money? So yeah, this is the more torturous version. Hey there, AJ Envoy. What is going on? So, finally, AJ has come back to Las Vegas, Nevada. I didn't realize you were going to say Nevada at the end, so I kind of screwed up the whole rhythm there. CW, Chicago World Order. Too sweet. So yes, so you're going to have to make your decisions based off a tier level that is currently presented to you. And plus, this is also going to be an easier version because now we may avoid the obligatory chat member who just runs in real quick, names every X-Men they possibly can, and then leaves. Not getting the whole $15 game, because no matter how many times we play this $15 game, there's inevitably someone who comes running in and says, I got this person, that person, this person, that person, this person, this person, this person, and that person. Done! I got the best team. So maybe if we've slowly revealed the tiers, we will not have we will kind of avoid people doing that, as it might force them to actually try to learn to play the game. I'm not counting on it, though. I feel that we're still going to get that coming. We're going to still get somebody coming in and doing that anyway. Even with it blank right now, I feel like if we wait long enough, someone will drop in the stream just to say that and then go. But anyway, so yes. So how are you guys doing? Before we get to play the game, as I said, let's just take a time out. Let's say hello to everybody. Let's give everyone some chances to be in here and join the chat and see what's going on. Just so we get everyone a chance to come in on the ground floor fresh. AJ Envoy says, I already know which X-Men I'm gonna pick if she's on the list, one of my favorite characters, but you're not gonna know where. Now are you? You're gonna have to figure this out with your money. And as I said, you can't go back and change your answers. Once you make an answer, that is where we're staying. I have my favorite X-Men. I can wait for the right team. Maybe your favorite X-Men won't be here. That's the other trick. Maybe there's an obvious answer that I intentionally left off the board. You don't know. You don't know. And maybe there's a mad obscure character that's all the way at the top. Because did I base this tier system off of popularity? Did I base it off of power? Did I base it off of strategic value? Who's to say? You won't know. Heavy hit Ron, the heavy hitter of the Chicago Order. That is, he is. Okay, yes, finally, yes, that's right, Inigo Montoya. That's right, by popular demand, X-Men $15 game. As I said, this game is going to be different, though, because you have to pick. You just got to stick to your guns, and we're only revealing the tiers one at a time. You can't go back, you can't undo your answers, and when we reveal the final tier, if you don't see anybody up there that you like, doesn't matter. You can't go back and change anything. You are stuck with your picks as they come about. Hey there, Rondo Reflex. What is going on, my man? Yeah, just gonna give it a few more minutes. Everyone's still filing in. We're getting the squad in the house, which is good to see. Want as many people. And thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. I do appreciate that. But yeah, so this is going to be the fun one because you don't know. And now, I don't want to... Oh, wait. They're revealing... That's right, AJ Envoy. We are revealing the tiers one at a time. And as we do, you have to decide then and there who you're picking from each tier. Not knowing who's left. Maybe somebody you really want is going to be higher than you expect. Maybe some obvious answers are not going to be on the board at all. You don't know. But you cannot change your answers. And once you make it to the top tier, if you don't see anyone there you like that you've been holding out for, you can't go backwards and say, oh, you know what? Well, in that case, then I'll take this person and that person and this person and that person. Nope. Your answers are locked. Set. You can't change them. So it's going to be much harder there. And as I said, AJ Envoy, I'm trying to cut down on the obligatory rando who just runs into this room, names every X-Men they possibly can, and then leaves. Not understand how to play the game. I figure this way might have to slow everyone's roll and maybe force them to actually get how to play the game first. It's very crafty. Yes, I've made it harder, more difficult, more complicated. Hey! Harry Flynn, no cats. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing, bro? You're confusing me. I know some people complain to you about the cats. I personally like that you do that. Just so you know, it doesn't bother me. I don't know why anyone finds it annoying. People are strange. People are strange on the internet. But anyway, Harry, thank you for being here. I've been waiting for you, buddy. So we're just about to get started. But just to go over the rules, yeah, one more time. So the $15, you have $15 allotted to you. But we're revealing the tiers. Hey, slow your roll, Jack. Yep, exactly. We're revealing the tiers only one at a time. You cannot go back and change any of your answers. As I reveal a tier, you must say who you have on that tier level and only that tier level. Once we reveal the next tier, then you have your team set. You don't have to pick somebody every round. You can you can skip a level, but you can't change your answers once you set them. And then when we get all the way to the top tier, if you've been holding out and saving all your money, if there's someone at the top tier that you've been hoping was there but isn't, you can't go back to the lower tiers and change your answers. You are set. Then that's it. If you have $10 left over, you have $10 left over, and there's nothing you're going to do about it. That's just how it goes. That's how we play the game. So we're making this a little bit rougher for everybody. So there might be some obvious answers that are not on this board at all. You won't know it until we get there. And there also might be some people at lower tiers than you might expect. You never know. You never know. Because the rhyme or reason of how I make this tier system may elude you. Because did I go for power? Did I go for popularity? Did I go for strategic value? You know, no. And he went back then. Back to them. Yeah, there you go. Hey, as I said, I told him. It's perfectly fine. It's the real Harry. Yeah, exactly. The real Harry uses all caps. There you go. All right, so here we are. Here's the game. So you guys ready to start? I'm going to start. I'm ready to start. I'm ready for this. So we're going to start with the lowest tier level, and we're going to reveal that now. Woo! Who do we got here? Who do we have here, folks? It's only one per tier. No, you can pick as many people in each tier as you want. You can pick all the people in any tier that you want, or you can pick no one in a tier. If you work out the math, you obviously can't pick one person in every tier. You still only have $15. You just have to make your decisions based off of what you see in the tier. So you don't have to pick anybody. You could pick, or you could just pick this, or you could pick as many people as you possibly mathematically can in this bottom tier or any tier. It's up to you. You're just having to think about what What do you anticipate I'm going to do? It's really what the game is. Yes, she's on the $1 tier. You pick Jubilee, love her. Okay, AJ Envoy, go for Jubilee. That was your big pick, $1 tier. Now, personally, I've never had a problem with Jubilee, but I know a lot of people find her annoying. I do admit that she has a lame power. Like, yes, and I know she has unparalleled amounts of ability with that power if in the right circumstances, but as a whole, overall, I think it's a lame power. And she doesn't even have it. There was the whole vampire jubilee and everything like that. So, well, I don't mind her as a character, and I actually think she's perfectly fine. I put her on a $1 level just because. I kind of just because I kind of figured this is where a lot of people expect her to be. So in this particular case, that's why she is there. And I guess I'm kind of revealing a little bit about how I put people where I did. Oops, I guess I let that on a little too early, giving you some tidbits of information. Okay, so Inigo Montoya says he's picking a former Avenger, Sunspot. Very good catching Sunspot here. It was a toss-up between Sunspot and Sunfire, as they're very close. Oh, and Magma, they're pretty much... they're all X-Men Human Torches. So I was tempted for that. Yeah, I would like to see members from Generation X. Well, there is one. Jubilee is there. Ooh, so, wow, a lot of love for Jubilee. And a lot of people didn't... Okay, a lot of people didn't like her, Dave, the whole fireworks powers, but I really love her. Hey, like I said, I have no problem with her either, and I think she's a good character, but some people hate her. I definitely don't like what they did with her after House of M, where she became the vampire. I thought that was stupid, but, outside of that, I think she's a perfectly good character. 2099 X-Men, I will give this away. No, there. I did consider it. I was thinking about throwing one member from 2099 on there, but I did not. But good for bringing that up, Dale, because, as I said, there might be some lesser popular characters lurking in higher tier levels that you don't know about. So if you have a holdout, if there is somebody you really like, they might be higher up than you. Harry Flynn. All you know is, on this bottom tier level, these are the 5 you're seeing. To be clear, who are each of them? Router Reflex, great question. You fell in love with her in the 90s cartoon that you watch. Yeah, same thing, because, she was created... I'm a big Shadowcat fan. I really like Kitty Pryde, and Jubilee was treated as the stand-in for a lot of Kitty Pryde stories. She would just fulfilled Kitty Pryde's role, and on top of that, that was the role that was meant for us kids. It was meant for, kids at the time to watch the X-Men through the child's perspective. So when the X-Men explained things to someone, to the audience, they were explaining it to Jubilee. So that's there. Okay, so to go over anything, first we have a Jubilee, as we've been discussing. Then we have Sunspot, former Avenger. That is correct. Sunspot. In the middle we have Forge from the X-Men. Technological genius, technopath, very handy X-Men, very good strategist too. I feel he's a very underrated X-Men for sure. Then we have Longshot. Now here's the kicker on this one. He's not actually a mutant, technically speaking. He's an alien with luck powers. Things tend to go his way. So as you can see, now he was popular on the X-Men team for a very brief period of time, but this goes to show you that you don't necessarily know if they're only going to be mutants on this list. The criteria just be X-Men. And last we have Warpath. If you want to make him Thunderbird, I don't care. But we have Warpath all the way on the end. He was a member of the giant-size X-Men that introduced many new characters onto the X-Men team. He is an expert strategist. He is a total beast mode fighter. And also somebody else that has kind of fallen by the wayside. Warpath, his brother Thunderbird, they're very similar, but he's another one that I kind of think goes under the radar. So you could probably look at this bottom tier level as the unsung heroes, the people who are definitely have more value than their looks rep and are not as popular as perhaps they should be. Do you have to pick someone? No, Katie, you can wait. You can save your money. You can hold on to your money and decide, hey, I'll spend it later on a higher tier level. You do not have to buy. Don't feel the need to buy anyone now. You can buy someone if you want to, or if you think that this is kind of where you want to be, or if this is who you really want. Ron Hawthorne says Forge also has Cheyenne. I don't know how to say that word, but like a shaman. Shamanic? Yeah. He's also a shaman. Um, so he also has proper uses in the shaman arts as well. That is very, very true. Very, very good point. See, you guys know. Longshot was a 2000 Man Reborn. Very, very well said. Thunderbird. It could be Thunderbird. Warpath, Thunderbird, I don't care which one you pick. Either or. Just like with the legacy characters that we normally have, you can go either or. Just like if you really want to pick Vampire Jubilee right now, I'm not stopping you. I don't know why you would, but you're more than welcome to. Raw the Reflex going Forge. See, I knew you guys. I knew you guys in the Know It All Nation. You guys are smart. You guys are cool. You guys would definitely see the value in some of these. Because, yeah, I like Forge too. Forge is a really cool character, but he kind of gets downplayed because of his abilities are, well, let's just say there are other people with similar abilities. So Raw the Reflex already going $2 to the well with Longshot and Forge. Good picks, very 90s picks. But with this particular dollar amount, though, unless your only way to mathematically get all $15 from now with having two. So Raw the Reflex has had two people in this bottom tier. Longshot and Forge. That puts you down negative $2, giving you $13 left. Mathematically now, you almost have to get the full amount of $15. Not saying that you have to, because you don't, but mathematically to get all your money's worth, your only option is to pick at least one person from the $3 level, because if you don't, mathematically you can't maximize your $15. Again, you don't have to spend all $15, just letting you know. But remember, you can't go backwards, you can't change your answers, you can't do anything later on. So if you're only going to stick with $2, that's where you're going to go. Ali, maybe, maybe not, who knows? Right now, we're playing this game. Samurai is very frugal with his money. Okay, so Dale's going for a long shot. 2000 Man Reborn going for a long shot. A lot of long shot fans here. I knew there was a good reason why I put him here. Forge for a buck can make anything he thinks of. Definitely makes the team. Kurt Wagner. Wow, cool. Yeah, I guess you would know for sure. Okay, I might pick Warpath later on depending. No, Inigo Montoya. You can't change later on. You either pick them now or you don't pick them at all. That is not how the game works. You're making your decisions now on the $1 tier. If you decide to pick now, then you're not picking it. You can't pick someone from the $1 tier later. You are only picking them right now. This is not time for play it low and slow. This is time to you are making the choice. That's what makes us hot. Dave, who do you pick? Or are you skipping this tier? Oh, no. It's not fair for me to tell you who I'm picking only because I know who's left. So I'm kind of going to stay out of this for now. I don't want to give too much away, so I'm just going to abstain for the game. I'll go over this a little bit later on. So now that we're okay, so be clear on the rules. You do not have to pick somebody from this tier, but you cannot go back to it. Once we're done with this tier and we move on, you cannot change your answers. You have got to stick with. So if you want someone from this $1 tier, now is the time. You don't know who's left. We're going to have to find that out. So now that I've said that, okay, fine, I'm just picking Sunspot. Okay, Inigo Montoya with Sunspot. Raw the Reflex with a 2. Longshot and Forge. Kurt Wagner with Forge. Dale Santaford and a 2000 Man Reborn. We have Longshot. Ron, are you? Ron's going with Forge. Harry, where's your vote? I didn't see you get in on this. AJ Envoy going with Jubilee for sure. Okay, get your picks in now. And if you don't mind just repeating your pick right now, if you have any, you can say that you're not picking this round, whatever. If you won't mind repeating your picks right now, go for it. Okay, Harry, where are you at? Because again, once we move on to the next tier, there is no going back. I'm not really a wrestling guy, so well, this is the comics live stream, so you don't have to go to the wrestling thing. So, okay, Ollie, I don't get where you're coming from. Anyway, everybody else who's playing the game. So time to give your final answers. Final answers for the $1 tier. Final answers. Katie, not picking anyone. Conserving the money, saving it for a later round. Smart. Final answers. Here we go. Lock them in. So Katie abstains. I'm not picking yet. Harry abstaining. That's 2. avoiding the $1 block. Who else do we got? Final answer. Time to lock him in before we move to the next tier. Longshot is a moneymaker because he's the most extreme after all. He's a Rob Liefeld character. 2000 Man Reborn goes for a long shot. You're not a comic book guy. Okay. Well, thanks for being here anyway. Okay, so 2000 Man Reborn goes for a long shot. Yeah, long shot. Yeah, long. I will say, I mean, nobody picked Warpath, but I think you guys appreciate him. He was the one I actually thought was going to do the best out of everyone here. Turns out I was way wrong about that. As all you guys seem to at least, even if you're not picking them, you still respect or see the value in some of these characters. Okay, I'm taking Forge then. Okay, Samurai Productions takes Forge. Long shot Forge. All right. You want to reiterate your final answers, or should we just move on? Because Inigo Montoya says Sunspot. Samurai Production goes with Forge. Katie and Harry Flynn abstaining. All right. I'll give it another minute. Kurt Wagner gets Forge. Also, keep in mind mathematically, if you only pick one person in the $1 amount, again, mathematically, it's going to be pretty hard for you to get the maximum amount of money, maximum amount here. So mathematically, remember, if you only pick one person, that completely stops you from being, and you don't pick anyone else from the $1 tier, you will no longer be able to get all $15. So your money's worth. So just keep that in mind. Mathematically, the breakdown works that by picking only one character, you from the $1 level, you will not be able to get all of it. Okay, Rod Reflex has Forge and Longshot. Thank you very much. Okay, so for everybody who's just picking one person on the $1 level, maybe this gives you the idea that maybe you might as well pick two, because as I said, you're not getting the full $15 anyway. So you might as well follow on Ron. If you're getting one, you're probably better off just getting two. Okay, so Ron Hawthorne says Sunspot. Okay, so Ron Hawthorne is going with Forge and Sunspot. Okay, there you go. Okay, Forge and Sunspot for Rod Reflex. And Inigo Montoya going ahead with Warpath. Warpath, specifically, not Thunderbird, as well as Sunspot. Okay. I wish Random was on the list. Maybe he is, Dale. Maybe he is. Maybe he's not. You won't know until the end. Okay, so yeah. So, how are you guys digging this format? Making you sweat? Making you think harder? Torturing you? Alright, so are we ready to move on to the next tier level? Are we ready? Because I'm going to get there. So, 2000 Man Forge can't build anything, but he can't stop a punch. That is very true, 2000 Man. Yeah, do you want to pick another guy? Since, again, mathematically, you will not be able to get your full dollar amount, so you might as well pick someone else. Kurt Wagner, hopefully 7 times 2 works out. I'll have to... 7 times 2. Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. You can pick 2 people in the $7 level. That will work, plus one person in the $1 amount. I'm sorry. Correct. Let's go. Next tier. Okay. Sorry about that. So if you, I apologize. So, good point. Let me clarify before we move forward. So anybody who's picking $2, I'm sorry, there is the possibility that if you get 2 people in the $7 tier level, your single $1 pick will work out to get all your money. I apologize. I completely overlooked that combination. So never mind. Do you want to take away that extra picks for you guys who made that? Ron and Inigo, I apologize. Very, very good point there, Kurt Wagner. So yeah, do you guys want to take away that extra pick, or are you good with having 2 people in the $1 tier? You move forward field. That's not a punch. Oh, that's a good point. So yes, thank you, Kurt Wagner, for pointing that out. So yeah, Ron and Inigo, do you want to take away that extra pick, or do you still want to stay with 2? It's up to you guys. Before I move on, let's go with that. I'm waiting to hear from Ron and Inigo. So yeah, tell me, Ron, Inigo, you guys want to stick with 1, or do you want to go with 2? Good calling. Stick with Forge. Okay, just 1. Good. Yeah, you're the man. No, I'll keep Warpath. Okay, so Inigo Montoya is sticking with 2, and so is Ron Hawthorne. We'll stand. Okay, very good. Hey there, Game Tech. Oh, real quick, Game Tech, welcome here. Okay, so here's a $15 game. We're picking X-Men. We're going with 1 tier at a time. You cannot go back. You cannot change your answers. So right now, since we started Game Tech, if you would like to play, you don't have to pick someone in this tiered level. You still only have $15. You don't know who's left. Would you like to participate? And if so, would you like to purchase anybody in this $1 level? You don't have to, but you can move on. Game Tech, Wait for your answer before we reveal the next tier because, again, there is no turning back. Once you've made your decisions, you cannot change them at any time. And you will not know who's on this list until later on. Or path 2, but I'll only save for 1. Okay, alright, so Samurai Productions is good sticking with Just Forge, putting all their money in hopes that they're going to be able to get 2 $7 picks. Alright, so, yeah, so Game Tech, waiting your answer before we move on. You don't have to pick anybody. You can pick as many people as you want from this tier. Whatever you want to do, but you just can't go backwards. That's the only key. So once you've made your decisions, it is final for this $1 tier. Whether it's one person or all of them or 0, that's the answer. Okay, 3 3s and a 5 as well. There's a couple combos for Forge. Wow, 3 3s. Yes, you are right. I'm going to stop giving it. Nope, I don't want to pick someone from this tier. Okay, great. We're going to move on. All right, so very good, very good, very good. So, all right. Next tier level, going for the $3 tier level in 3, 2, 1. Booyakasha! Next tier level for $3 in conjunction with your $1 picks. The next level we have the following X-Men. We have Archangel. You can have just regular Angel if you want. Archangel, how do you pronounce it? I've always said Archangel as a kid. I just said Archangel now. I don't know why. So, Archangel. We have Banshee. As well as we have Psylocke, then Dazzler, followed by Bishop. Now, Angel or Archangel again, either way, whichever way you want, or Archangel, however you say it. So many different ways, so many different power sets. Has healing. Not only could fly, but has under talked about or lesser talked about healing powers. He is actually a pretty good healer. So that's something that I think a lot of people don't know. And if you go with him with his Archangel form or Archangel form, you get all of the wings. You get the metal wings and all of his apocalypse powers. Banshee, supersonic scream, and the ability of flight. And he's also a pretty good strategist. He actually does have a pretty good mind in terms of fighting in combat and actual combat work. Then Psylocke. Speaking of combat, we have the assassin Psylocke. If you want to pick her or her clone counterpart, whichever, fine by me. You could pick Kwannon or you could pick Psylocke. I don't care which one. But either way, you have a psionic blade, psychic powers, and extremely skilled in martial arts and weaponry, as well as just overall fighting in general. She's tough, she's ruthless, and she can make a psychic blade from psionic energy. Then we have Dazzler. Now, someone who I think is just exactly the same as Jubilee and barely any different. We have Dazzler, who could turn sound into light. And that light can be dangerous. Yeah, I know. She took down Galactus once. I know. So that's why she's here. That's why she's 1 tier higher. I always hated this character, but I know there are a lot of Dazzler fans out there. So this might be your biggest steal of the game if you're a Dazzler fan. And then finally, we have one of my favorite characters. I actually wanted to put him a little bit higher, but then with my justifications for the rest of the tier, I actually couldn't put him anywhere else. So Bishop. Now he has the ability to absorb any energy you dish out to him and dish it right back to you. So on top of that, he's a time traveler, which is not going to be counted as a superpower because he can't really do that on his own. So don't assume that you get the ability to time travel just by drafting Bishop for $3 here. So no option there. Bishop, $3. Okay, back. Finish my late lunch. Okay, back. Oh, all right. So, Samurai Productions took away something. I didn't see what it is. Okay, so Raw the Reflex is taking Psylocke for $3. So, going along with your other 2 picks, that gives you $5 spent, $10 remaining. Very good, Raw. Announce your team thus far, if you may. Is that Maria Hill? No, that is not Maria Hill. That is Psylocke. I assume that's who you think is Maria Hill. Let's see who ended up on this list. Okay, Bishop is very tempting, especially given his relationship with Cable, but I think I'll pass. Oh, okay, AJ's passing. All right, so, yeah, Raul, remind us of your full team now, all 3 members of your current team. Kurt Wagner says, okay, I like this. I'll take Bishop, Banshee, and Dazzler. Oh, snappity, snap. Bishop, Banshee, and Dazzler, plus Banshee, plus Das boost bishop to sick levels. Uh, I don't know what that means, but okay. Yes. But yes, okay, that's all right now. Good. Kurt Wagner is playing this game pretty strong. So with Bishop, Banshee, and Dazzler all at $3, that equals $9. Plus his previous $1 pick, Broom puts him at $10 even. So he only has $5 left, meaning the next tier he can only pick one person to maximize his $15. And what if someone he really wants is on the higher tiers? He's just out of luck. If they're at the 7 or 10, he's out of luck. So he's got to make his choices at the $5 tier. That's it. All right. But there, Kurt Wagner, please announce your team, your entire team up until this point. All right. Game Tech finally gets in the game, buys Bishop. Inigo Montoya says this is a hard tier. I cracked a lot. Who's the one, Inigo Montoya? Okay, Inigo, who's the one person who's on this tier who's not your favorite? Name the one person you don't care about. So Inigo Montoya, so Game Tech finally into the game. Strategically passed on the first level is taking Bishop. So that's your only member of the team, Game Tech with Bishop. She took out Black Belt. Yeah, Ron. I know. It's like this is like the few things I think we disagree on. I could care less about Dazzler. But, considering her power, it is pretty useful against Black Bolt, because Black Bolt, if he speaks, is apparently super powerful. That's why he doesn't talk. But if she can convert sound into light and to concussive blast, then, yeah, that powerful voice would make one heck of a light show. Okay, so Katie Martin into the game. She is taking Psylocke. So Katie Martin with $3 Psylocke. Inigo Montoya is adding Psylocke to his team of Sunspot and Warpath, giving him $5, $10 remaining in this game. Very, very cool. Inigo Montoya. All right. Rod Reflex has Psylocke, Forge, and Long Shots. That's actually a pretty solid team. I like that. Bishop's strong. Why not? Why not? He says. Harry's still abstaining, not faking two tiers down. Harry says, nah. I'm good. Big money Harry's saving for the higher tiers. All right, I like it. Really gutsy kid. I'll skip this tier. Okay, Samurai Productions also skipping this tier. Kurt Wagner says Dazzler makes sound into light energy. Banshee. Oh, I get it now. With Banshee with a supersonic scream, the two of them, what a team. Okay, Bishop absorbs and shoots out. Oh, okay, I see where you're going with this. So now you have a nice chain, This is actually very, very brilliant strategy on Kurt Wagner's part, as he's taking the chain of command. So Banshee has a supersonic screen, which Dazzler can turn to light, and Dazzler can use that light energy to power Bishop. Very smart. Very smart. I like that thinking. Inigo Montoya does not like Bishop. Okay, so that's the only one you didn't like. This is what I'm talking about. Dazzler gets so much love, like way more love than I would have ever expected. So apparently I'm the weird one because I'm not like the biggest Dazzler fan. Okay, Ron Hawthorne says, I'll take Bishop. He's one of my favorites too, bringing his team to Forge, Sunspot, and Bishop. Okay, there we go. Forge and Bishop, I mean, it's a big part of it is the cartoon, but that has always been a very cool team to me, the three of them mixed together, for sure. Rollin Reflex says he can take two $5, one $10, or a $7 and have change. Yep, you got options, but you still got a pretty decent team, and we're only cracking the first two levels. Here's because I really like Bishop's powers, but I'm going to skip. Okay. Bishop's powers, see, as I said, I want to put, originally I had Bishop a little bit higher, but just when you see the rest of the tier system, you'll know why I couldn't. Bishop is one of those mutants that, for me, goes into like this there's no like official category for him, but there's some mutants where I think their powers are only useful in conjunction to a world that mutants exist, because there's some, for the most part, because there's some mutants that if they were in a world by themselves and they were the only mutant on Earth, they like, what would you do with them? Like, so Bishop being able to take your powers and throw it back to you, like Cyclops or Havoc, it only really works if people do things like that. Now, sure, Bishop can absorb other kinds of energy, but how much does that really come up in regular, normal, everyday human life? Like, I don't believe Bishop can get stabbed. Like, I think that will hurt him. I'm not sure about that one. Bullets, regular bullets, I'm not sure about either. The same thing with like Sebastian Shaw. both of them have the same problem where most, like, visually or practicality wise, when you watch like X-Men movies and all that stuff, the best stuff you're going to see out of them comes from just them fighting other mutants. If they're like just by themselves, are really good. Now Sebastian Shaw in X-Men First Class, yeah, he was able to take on all kinds of damage from anybody, punches, kicks, anything. Gunshots, grenades, presumably knives as well. He was able to take it all out and just be fine. But doesn't really work so much on other levels. Or like Leech, he can steal your powers. Well, or he can steal your powers, right? He can take away your powers. Well, if you don't have any powers, then it's kind of a pointless thing to have, right? You can change. Oh, you can't change, Katie. Wait. On this tier level, yes. We still haven't moved on, so yes, if you want to change your answer for this tier level, but you can't go back and say somebody from the $1 level. But if you want to change from Psylocke, yeah, I'll let you change. But get your answer in now. I want to see the $5 tier. Well, you got to wait on that. Game Tech, you have 12. You have $12 left. That is correct. You have $5, 12 left because you got Bishop. Was Dazzler in X-Men Evolution? She was not, to the best of my knowledge. She might have had like a weird cameo that I'm forgetting about, but to the best of my knowledge, she was not actually on the show. As I said, she was like, to me, she's like she's such an '80s character, and like the most familiar I was with her was in the X-Men arcade game, where I was sitting there and going, "Why is it Dazzler? Of all the people." Fastball special, all that. X-Men are all about tag team moves, so I want a team that can work together. Well, Kurt Wagner, that's a brilliant mentality. Fastball special, yes, exactly. Brilliant mentality. Absolutely brilliant. I am very impressed. Good chemistry is the way to go. Hey, Double A! Generally, the person or the car? Or me. I was actually in an improv show where that was my nickname once. Psylocke was Captain Britain, so I'll take it that she has leadership ability. One thing I will say about the X-Men, there's no shortage of leadership ability. I mean, I hear your point, but nonetheless, there's no shortage of that. It's not like the Ninja Turtles where it's pretty much going to be Leonardo or nobody. Okay, so Double A, real quick, since you're just joining us, here's the game. We're playing the $15 game with the X-Men. Now, you got lucky, you passed the first round, but you cannot go back in tiers. You are picking your picks, and once you've picked, that's set in stone. You cannot go backwards. So we're revealing it one at a time. So if you want to save on your choice, your money for someone up later, and they're not there, you're screwed. Once you get to the top $10 level, you can't go back and then just recollect your money. You're having to make your picks now. So, Double A, you got lucky. You passed the first round. But you know what? Let's go ahead and have you make your picks for these two levels before we move on. Okay, so Katie, you don't want Psylocke. Who do you want? Or no one. Tell me what your move is. I'm good. I will wait till the next one. Dale's good. Waiting for the next one. Nico Montoya is waiting for the $7 level so he can have his full 15. Very good. Ron Hawthorne says, I only remember Dazzler appearing in Pride of the X-Men. Yes, she was in that. Well, the X-Men arcade game was based off of Pride of the X-Men, so they made it, that's why Dazzler appears in that. We did a watch-along of Pride of the X-Men. The thing about that was, I get it, that power-wise, she's probably more interesting. For the Pride of the X-Men, the fact that she's the name, like her name's in the title of the show, I kind of figured Shadowcat would have been a good. And plus, I'm a big Kitty Pryde fan, so like it would have been good in the game. But I get how phasing powers may not necessarily work, and they didn't really establish. V, that's the different game, man. And you changed your icon. But hi, V, how you doing? I'm sorry, but can you explain the game? I'm kind of late. That's okay, Ollie. I thought you said you weren't a comic book guy. Anyway, the way this game works is you have, as it says on top, you have $15. Each tier level has certain superheroes on it, and each of them costs a different amount of money. You can only spend $15. Now, we're going over it one at a time. You cannot go backwards. Once you made your decision on each tier level, you can't change your answers. And if at the end you have excess money, too bad. That's just how it goes. So that's how we're making picks. So Double A is passing this round. Ooh, passing the $1 and $3 round. Saving just like Harry. Why I'm banking on the leader of Excalibur or Cyclops being $5 still. Need an experienced leader. Okay. Fair enough. Alexis, no one yet. Double A is waiting for a $5 level. Very good. So remember, if you're just joining us, you can't go back in numbers. So if in the end you have excess money left over, you cannot go back to pick others. You're making your choice now. Katie Martin, as I said, I may or may not have obvious choices. There might be obvious X-Men that you just assume will be here that aren't. And there might be some obscure X-Men taking up these top spaces. You never know. You never know. And you also don't know who's what, who's where. Don't know none of the X-Men. You don't know. I'm sure one of these guys is popular. Yeah. Okay, guys. Who's the most popular one? I guess Jubilee because she was in the cartoon. I mean, Bishop. She was a star in the cartoon. Bishop was in the cartoon too, but he wasn't a star. Psylocke was played by Olivia Munn in the crappy Apocalypse movie. Angel's been in a bunch of movies. He doesn't look like that, but yeah. Bishop was in Days of Futures Past. Warpath was in. I mean, Warpath was too, and then what's her face? Dazzler was in the even crappier, Dark Phoenix movie, or just as crappy Dark. Yeah, Jubilee. Yeah, Jubilee. Yeah, Double A. I take it that's not your pick. You're just saying she's probably the most popular. I get you. And yeah, what up, V? I know other X-Men. Okay. All right. Well, no one yet. Okay, so no one yet. All right. Okay, you guys ready to move on to the $5 tier? Put your picks in now. Psylocke is a telepath, long shot, read the future, and has telepathic ability. So he does. Hold up. All right, I'll hold up, V. All right. So remember, once you've made your picks now, you have to make your picks now. You don't have to pick someone in each tier. Mathematically, you can't. You don't have to pick someone in each tier because you can't. But you can abstain and you can wait till a later round. But if you do pick, and you can pick more than one person in the tier if you mathematically can, but once you make your picks, you can't go back. You cannot change your answers. You're stuck, locked in. Okay, so V Infuso takes Bishop for $3. V in the game. Everyone but Forge and Longshot have been in an X-Men movie. Huh. So far. Wow, Forge just can't make a movie? Dude's getting hosed. Long shot in. Switching, I'll take Bishop. Oh, Double A is participating on this round. He's taking Bishop. Bishop got some popularity. He's locking in. Final answer, V Infuso. Bishop. I'm flipping the script. Flipping the script says Double A. Okay, we're staying put. So I'm counting this. Double A, you got Bishop. That's your answer, right? Okay. All right. Maybe I should get like a pen and paper and start writing these things down. I'm not gonna, but maybe something to think about for the next minute. All right, so we ready to move on? We ready to move on to the $5 tier? Let me know, guys. Are we cool? You locked in your answers? Because whatever you said last is what I'm counting. Whatever you said last, I'm counting. So unless I hear any objections, I'm about to move on to the $5 tier. Are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? It's a Forge movie. I want a Forge movie. I will admit, he doesn't have the best name. It's kind of hard. Like, it sounds kind of cool, but when you think about it, it's like, man, it's kind of weird. All right, locked in. Okay, Samurai Productions, locked in. Ready for the next tier, Samurai Productions. Okay, so Samurai Productions. Bishop's Power Bot, you're going to skip. Okay, skipping Bishop. He's sure. Who wants Ferris Bueller too? Not me. We're good. Okay, so we're good? All right, that was random, Double A. All right, $5 tier, getting ready to reveal $5 tier. Up next for the $5 tier, Forge, Bishop, Dazzler, Banshee. Let's see who finishes your team. That's right, because you got 5 bones left, and this is your only option. So Forge, Bishop, okay, so anyway, I'm sorry, I'm not going to stop reading Kurt Wagner's team. Now, Kurt Wagner's team, speaking of Kurt Wagner, we have Nightcrawler, Havoc, Alex Summers, Kitty Pryde, one of my personal favorites, Rogue, and Colossus in the $5 tier. Bet this is going to throw... I forged my signature. Huh? Yes, Nightcrawler, pick it. Yeah, and Kurt Wagner, I think you almost have to. You have to pick someone from this tier, and there's your namesake here. So I kind of think, I was trying not to, well, who will I choose? Yes, who will you choose? I was trying not to reveal it earlier on because I'm like, man, this guy knows that Nightcrawler's on the $5 tier, doesn't he? It's like, I'll just wait, I'll just put everything on a $5 level. I'm like, he knows Nightcrawler's here, doesn't he? I was like, can you see this? I was trying not to give it away, but yeah, you were totally 100%. This could not work out better for you. Okay, cool. So Kenny Wagner says, changed her answer, took off Psylocke, had nobody yet, finally getting in the game. Wait a minute. Cyclops is not here, Katie Martin. I just realized something. Katie Martin, not here. Did I say I meant Alex Summers. Havoc. That's Havoc, not Cyclops. Okay, so AJ Envoy goes with Rogue and Jubilee. Very nice. Okay, so Rogue and Jubilee puts him in at $6. Now, $6. Mathematically, you will not be able to get the entirety of your will not be able to get the entirety of your $15. Okay, Nigo is skipping this tier. Double A, your team 6 story. Oh, Bishop. Double A is going for Bishop and Havoc. Bishop and Havoc. Yeah, keep that in mind, guys. Mathematically, break down the numbers to see if you can get your full 15 or not. Something to take into consideration when playing. So Havoc and Bishop, that brings you at $8. Now, if you go with someone in the $7 round, you will be able to get your entire team, but obviously enough, you will not. You'll be able to get your full $15, but you will not be able to get anybody on the top $10 level. But then again, pretty obvious. Okay, so Double A's pick is Havoc, another leader, and Bishop. Bishop also has some leadership abilities to his cred. He is capable of being a leader to a certain degree. Dale Centerford goes with Nightcrawler and Colossus. $10. Dale, now your previous picks. Previous pick. Did you pick someone from the $1 level, Dale? I'm trying to see. Dale, yeah, you picked Longshot, did you not? Yeah. Yeah, you picked Longshot, so now you're at $11. Again, you will not be able to get your full 15, and in fact, I think you're tapped out. Dale, Nightcrawler and Colossus, including Longshot, put you at $11. This is it. This is your final team. You can't go any higher. That's it. So Dale, seems like you were out of the game. Nightcrawler for Harry Flynn. Harry Flynn finally in the game. Okay, so Kurt Wagner, obviously. So Nightcrawler is the leader of his team, formerly the leader of the team Excalibur, just so you know. Leads his X-Men team consisting of Bishop, Banshee, Dazzler, and Forge. And I think with prep time, that's a raw team brought at a bargain price, plus 5-person team. He does have a stacked team. The numbers definitely go in your favor. Now, Kurt Wagner absolutely brilliantly played. I will give you that this was a very well thought out game. You are capped out. Congratulations on your team. $15. Again, that team is the leader of Nightcrawler, leading a team of Bishop, Banshee, Dazzler, and Forge. You have intelligence. You're lacking slightly in the brawn department, but that's no big deal. It's only slightly, but nonetheless, you're right. These guys do have chemistry together. This is a very solid team, so I commend you for your playing. Thank you so much for a $15 team. Hope you stick around just to see who everybody else gets. But yes, brilliantly played, I will say. I applaud you. Well done. Well done. Congratulations. You win a Marvel No Prize. Okay, Longshot, Colossus, Nightcrawler, the 80s X-Men team for Dale Centerford. That is true. You do. That is a very 80s team. So yes, Longshot, Colossus, and Nightcrawler. Maybe not the most economic strategic use of your monies, as you do have a lot left over. But with the team that you have, I totally get it. Nightcrawler and Colossus are definitely two picks. Again, these were other X-Men that I actually wanted to put higher, especially since Colossus is one of the few muscle men of the X-Men team. While they have a lot of strong characters or characters capable of lifting things up and putting them down. In terms of just raw muscle, the tank of the team, Colossus is actually one of the few things, because they don't have that many, if you think about it. Not in conjunction to some other teams, where like the Avengers have a whole bunch of super strong characters. Just in terms of physical raw, muscle strength, Colossus is just actually one of the few. So I actually, because of that, I almost wanted to put him higher. Also his tag team maneuvering with the fastball special, but when I broke things down, this was as high as I could possibly put it. This was as high as I could possibly put them. Another one that actually really hurt me was Shadowcat. Kitty Pryde is one of my favorite characters of all time. She's genius level intellect, has gone on in many facets to assume a leadership role as well. And in one alternate story, she actually became the first mutant president of the United States. So Kitty Pryde is all that. So in terms of intelligence, she's also a computer whiz. She was a computer genius before computers were as popular as they are now. So way back when, she's always had a mind of her own. Famously with the Professor Xavier is a jerk panel. She's always been rebellious in the right spirits. Left the team in action for a period of time, went to college. But beyond all that, she also has, of course, her main power is her phasing ability, where she was able to walk and pass through solid objects. Now that doesn't seem like a big deal, but she has used this power to a great extent, where she's been able to take a gigantic metal bullet that was being fired at Earth, and she actually phased completely through Earth, saving the entire world like that. Beyond that, she's also used this ability to help cloak the X-Mansion, so it would appear that it wasn't there in an alternate universe. And her phasing ability also shorts out all electronics, and she can also walk on air as well. And while it does cause her a bit of a disorientation and a little bit of pain, she is even capable of passing through adamantium, affecting its structure there too. And she comes with a pet dragon, an alien dragon, so keep that in mind. Havoc, and now Havoc, another character that I really want to put higher on the list, as again, he's a leader, and he's a lot easier to deal with than Cyclops is. He's my preferred Summers brother. Has his concussive blast, just like his brother. However, by some accounts, is actually more powerful than Cyclops's. But either way, he's also a leader. Has functioned as leader of the team temporarily. Has also been the leader of X Factor. Nightcrawler, teleportation powers, fencing ability, solid fighter. He has his tail. He has his prehensile tail and the ability to cling to walls to a limited degree. Not as well as Spider-Man, but somewhat. Kind of speaks for himself. I think he's pretty popular, so I think you guys already know this. And then we also have Rogue. Rogue, yet someone else that some of you may feel deserves to be a little bit higher on the list. But as I've said, most of the time, her abilities really do work better with mutants. Yeah, she can take anybody's life force, and she can pick up individual traits from them. But really, stealing mutant powers is pretty much the best, most effective use of her abilities. And while she has sometimes been able to maintain powers for a long period of times, sometimes they come and go. I couldn't put her any higher, but also you guys, this will start making sense once I get to the next tier. But she's also she's also kind of have gotten certain problems with she's not the best team player. She can cause a lot of friction, and mental maturity and emotional maturity she is a little bit lacking. Okay, so Ron Hawthorne says you take Kitty and Rogue. $10, but don't forget to remind me of your current team. When you think about all the scary stuff Kitty can do, she's really oh yeah, Ron, dude, as I said, one of my absolute favorites. Who's that next to Nightcrawler on? Okay, so Ron Hawthorne, let's get into your team. Please announce your entire team, if you will. Rogue or Havoc, depends, left or right. $5. Ra goes with a $5 Rogue. Oh, not going for... Okay, so... yeah, so, picking Nightcrawler for this. I'm locked in. Seminole Productions locked in. So, okay. No, double A. Please announce your entire teams. I don't want to scroll back, but I'll remember, so, But, yeah. He's an amazing X-Men. Yeah, she is untouchable. Kurt Wagner, entire team has been set with this level. Okay, so your team is good. Dale also set, Rod Reflex entire team is Rogue, Havoc, Psylocke, Longshot, and Forge locked in. So that's $2, $3, and then $10. Okay, so not waiting out for the top tier. He is going for Rogue and Havoc, both in the $5 tier level. So Raw and Reflex's entire, so Kurt Wagner's entire team is, Dale's entire team is in. Raw and Reflex is officially in with his entire team being Rogue, Havoc, Psylocke, Forge, and Longshot. Would you like to give a leader, or do you think this is just a no traditional leadership structure format Raw? If you want, announce a leader. If not, that's okay. That's cool too. So let's go into Samurai Productions. It's funny that Shadowcat and Nightcrawler have been pushed as a couple because both are my favorites in X-Men. Yes, with Kitty's one of the weird things. Here's a weird thing about Kitty that I really don't like is that some of you may or may not know this. Don't ask. I don't know why, but there's in the comic books there has been this thing where they say she had a pet hamster when she was a little girl named Pete. And she loved the hamster very much, and as a result, she is notorious for dating people named Pete. She dated Peter Rasputin. He oftentimes just goes by Peter Rasputin Colossus. He has also gone. She has also dated a British agent named Pete Wisdom. She has also dated Peter Quill in the Ultimate Universe, Peter Parker. So like if your name is Peter, she's probably going to go out with you because apparently for her love affair of her hamster. I never got that. I think that's a very weird thing. So that's not like 100. Like that's like continuity, but like a lot of writers choose to ignore it and just pretend it never happened. She's also dating people not named Pete. She dated Bobby Drake for a period of time, Iceman, but then Iceman was revealed to not go that way, so that relationship ended. Yeah, I know. Kitty Pryde's had a really weird romantic history. Sadly, I actually wanted the couple of Kitty and Bobby to stick. I actually like the two of them together. Not so much in the Ultimate Universe, but in the main universe, I actually think they work well together. And while there has been mild flirtation between, or hints at chemistry between Kitty and Nightcrawler, they even joined Excalibur together. But her main love has been Colossus, and that's kind of the couple that everyone wants to see happen. Or many people, apparently not everyone. Double A is still waiting for a $7 tier. Katie is taking Nightcrawler. Very good. Katie officially on the board. Get out of my head. Kurt Wagner. Someone asked who was next to Nightcrawler, Dave. I know my statement made little sense out of context. Oh, no. I got it now. Now I figured that out. I chose the dorky looking Havoc costume, not the cool one. Peter Griffin. Well, I mean, in the Marvel Universe, but who knows, maybe. I mean, Peter Griffin already shot a little bit higher than he's supposed to get in the first place, but, that's what TV shows do. Okay, so Rogue has made Captain Marvel powers that she stole from her. Once upon a time, she did. Actually, that's the power set I prefer, as I talked about on the episode of Judge a Character featuring Rogue, which, if you haven't seen it, check it out. I sold her first appearance in the Avengers comic. Okay, everybody's deleting comments now. Rogue absorbs thoughts. Havoc absorbs energy. Two telepaths with different ranges and absolute powers and weapons. Genius. Ooh, Rob brings up a good point. Look who else is playing the strategy game. Alright, so yes, let's look at this. So Raw Reflex with Rogue, Havoc, Psylocke, Forge, and Longshot locked in. I will say your team is also really strong in terms of fighting ability, too. Rogue's actual fighting ability has fluctuated depending on who's riding her, but Longshot is a notoriously good or lucky fighter. Forge is not unskilled, 100%. He's not the best fighter in all, but as I said, strategy-wise. So physically, he may not be the best person to stand toe-to-toe, but he's pretty smart in terms of strategy. But Psylocke is the real key to this, because she's definitely a big fisticuffs expert. Kurt Wagner says, Raw and Ron, I really like the teams. Nicely done. Yes, very nicely done. Okay, so Raw has his team leader, Kitty Pryde, very well picked. Forge, the brains. Sunspot, finance, with the monies. Resources, backup, tank. Nice. Or Rogue, powerhouse. He's using Rogue as the powerhouse and a Swiss Army knife since she can steal other powers. And Bishop, another powerhouse. And tactician, along with Forge. Very, very skilled tactile team. I do like that you incorporated the finances, though. I think that was very smart of you, Ron, taking money into consideration, because that is a key factor. And I do think putting Kitty Pryde in the lead is a very, very smart choice as well, along with Forge. Forge, in some continuities, has actually been portrayed as a Nick Fury type for the X-Men in certain contexts. Okay, so Dale says my leader is Nightcrawler for my team, and I'm going with non-traditional 3 X-Men. Hey, no problem with that. 3 Amigo X-Men team. Random. Ali says random. Why are you saying random? Who's random? Kitty. Oh, random. Kitty and the hamster reminds me of Flash and his stepsister. Yeah, sometimes comic writers are weird. Yeah, it's like, that's awkward. I felt that way at the end of Clueless. I was like, really? Her stepbrother? That's strange. I don't have a step sibling, but I imagine that's got to be weird. I assume. I don't know. All right, so lock in your tier. Okay, so everyone, it's a $5 tier now. Ron, the nitty gritty, Ron and Ron would make a good tag team. Ron and Ron, that's a cool name. But yeah, so here we go. Let's go ahead with the tier system. So make your picks, lock them in now. If you would like, remind me of your team. I know we have Ron the Reflex, Dale Sandiford, and Kurt Wagner, all with their teams set, officially set. Harry just goes with Nightcrawler as well as Katie, both finally getting in the game with Nightcrawler. Double A holding out for the $7 level. Double A, you haven't made a pick yet? I thought you picked somebody. Yeah, you picked Havoc and Bishop. Yeah, unless you change your answer. Havoc and Bishop. 5 and 3. Yeah. 5. Yeah, Havoc and Bishop. Okay, so Havoc and Bishop, you have $8, so you get one pick from the $7 level, and that's pretty much it. Katie Martin just says Nightcrawler. Psylocke is primary leader of team. Nice, because of the Captain Britain thing, and Rogue is the co-leader. Co-leader. It's like when the Mets had co-captains. And again, in baseball, what's the point of captains? Anyway, the co-leader because she can absorb thoughts and leads. Man, you're a big Rogue fan, huh? Big Rogue fan, I see. Okay, so everybody else making their picks. So, all right, we have 3 complete teams. 3 complete teams. Hopefully the next 2 of the tier levels aren't going to make you kick yourselves. But Kurt Wagner, Double A, and Rod the Reflex. 3 complete teams, all set. Are we ready to move on? Are we ready? Where'd V go? V left? Baseball is worse than cricket. I don't think that's true, but hey, understood. You gotta know what a crumpet is to understand cricket. It's from Ninja Turtles, if you don't know that. Alright, so I'm going to give you guys a moment, but I think we're ready to move on. Especially now that we have 3 completed games, y'all. Or 3 completed teams. I think we're ready. I think we're just about ready to move on. Okay, so, alright. Double A, why are you pulling a Ben Espinosa and deleting your comments? Just leave it, bro. Okay, so we ready to move on. Any objections? Anybody ready to move on? Please say so now. Kurt Wagner, cricket. No one understands cricket. You gotta know what a crumpet is to understand cricket. That's right, Kurt. Yeah, Kurt Wagner, you get it. You know what's up. I think the Ron and Ra connection is strong. How gracious of you to put his name first before yours. It should be Ron. That's the thing. Oh yeah, I was being sarcastic. You beat my lag, Dave. I beat your lag. Do a 15 tier list for WWE Legends. I already did that, Katie. Were you not around that day? All right. Let's move on. Okay. Nico Montez says moving on. It's okay. We're moving on to the $7 level. Get ready because we are moving on. $7 level in 3, 2, 1. Oops. Boom! Sorry, there we go. Alright, so at the $7 level, we have another one of my all-time favorites, Gambit, followed by the aforementioned Iceman, who is, as of right now, considered an Omega level mutant. Or by some, the definition, I made an episode about this, Omega level mutants. We've gone back and forth on it, what Omega level counts, but last I checked, he's now an Omega level mutant. Then we have one of the smartest people in all of the Marvel universe, comic book universe, Beast. He may not be the smartest, he may not be Reed, he may not be Tony, he may not even be Hank Pym, and maybe he's not even Bruce Banner, that is. And he may not be T'Challa, but he's still among the top 8. Where specifically, who knows? But, well, I already did an episode covering this. But anyway, here we have Beast, Hank McCoy, and then we have Cyclops, the other Summers brother, the jerk, if you will. Technically speaking, I suppose some will say he's a better leader than his brother Alex. Whatever. I don't think that's true. He's harder to get along with, but anyway, I'm not going to just keep dumping on him. And then finally, we have telepath extraordinaire and able to switch into diamond form and considered to be one of the best looking, if it matters for anything, Emma Frost. So here we have the $7 tier. Okay, so Ron Reflex says Rogue, married and weak in Gambit. Gambit is not a threat. Oh, my feelings. Gambit had brain surgery. Had brain surgery from Mr. Sinister to limit his actual powers because he is a being of super crazy amounts of energy. So that is something to take into consideration, and was also a horseman of the apocalypse. So his unprecedented amounts of energy, as well as the ability to take an object's kinetic energy, potential energy, and turn it into kinetic energy. He can charge up any objects, so he has that ability. And Harry is waiting for the $10 tier. He's made his choice with Nightcrawler and is done. Katie, on the other hand, is going with Gambit, making her team Gambit and Nightcrawler $13. Katie, you are officially tapped. That is going to be your entire team. You have the tag team of Nightcrawler and Gambit. The Nightcrawler and Gambit show, that is your entire team. AJ Envoy is going for Gambit, Rogue, and Jubilee. So that brings you to $6 plus 7. That brings you to $13. So there we go. So the entire team is now set for AJ Envoy. Katie Martin's team is set. Harry is still holding out. Wants the maximum $10, is waiting. Double A is going with Havoc, Bishop, Iceman, locked. Alright, I like that when you guys say locked. So Double A's locked team is going to be Iceman, Bishop, and Havoc. So that brings you to $15 exactly. Maximize your entire team. Ali says, I'm not going to lie, I don't know more than half these people. Well, then just pick the guys you do know. Or, if you're curious, just listen to me describe them and see if they're maybe new cup of tea, maybe somebody else you want to try on. Ron says, as far as genetics and biology, I think Beast is meant to be the #1 authority. That is a good point, too. When it comes to actual intelligence, Beast is genetically, in terms of fictional Marvel science, Beast is definitely the authority on that. You could make the argument that Nathaniel Essex, aka Mr. Sinister, might have the edge on him in that one particular field, but nevertheless, Beast, in terms of well-roundedness, has more intelligent abilities than Sinister, so I think it's fair to say why he's on a higher plane level. And the thing about most of the Marvels people consider to be the smartest, they each have their niches, their particular fields that they're, like in real life, where they're experts in. But then you have like Reed, who's like super genius. He's smart in everything: space exploration, building stuff, you name it, and he just knows it. T'Challa is also very similar in that field too. I feel that the Black Panther, they never really gave him a specific. Yeah, I know if you're just a fan of the movies, you're gonna say, don't you mean Shuri? Well, Shuri in the movies has been smarter, but in the comic books, T'Challa was always the genius. They kind of switched that up. But anyway, they never really hooked him with one particular field of expertise. They kind of just let him go all the way around. But Banner is like, he's the dude with gamma radiation. Pym, he's the kind of, I mean, he's got Pym particles. He also dabbles in other things. But see, like when he dabbles in other things like Ultron, then he screws up. Tony's was always the more robotics guys. But since the popularity of movies, he's kind of become a more well-rounded genius. Okay, so AJ says he's low-key mad that you got $2 left on the table, but it is what it is. Yeah, that's the game. That's the game for you. That's the slow burn of this version of the game. Ralph Reflex says Havoc can absorb kinetic energy, and Rogue will absorb the thoughts. You really like pitching the Rogue thing. I'm gonna come clean. I've never been the biggest Rogue fan. I get it. I know she's like crazy powerful. It's just personally, I've never really, like as a character, I've never really liked her as a character because she's portrayed so wildly and consistently. In the X-Men cartoon in the 90s, she was great. Big personality. She was a lot of fun. But then in the X-Men Evolution, she was this gothy emo kid. And then like in the movie, she was this like quiet little girl. And to me, that's always a red flag or a warning sign when somebody doesn't have like a consistent character portrayal. like Gambit. Gambit is always going to be the smooth, cool, like ladies' man type. He's always going to be that. No matter what iteration, he's always going to be calm and cool. Probably not very trustworthy, but always going to be calm and cool. Cool, very charismatic. Oh, that's also a latent power. Oh, while we're on it, also latent power of Gambit. He does have a little bit of charisma powers. He does have the ability to be very suggestive, and you're going to go listen to him more than you might. So it's like a low-level psychic ability. Wolverine, he's always going to be rough and tough and he's always going to be Wolverine. You're never going to see like a happy-go-lucky like Wolverine, but Rogue, like it's hard to like lock onto her as a character because she's so wildly different every time you see her. What's your team, by the way? AJ Envoy, as I said, I'm not really getting into it because since I know who's left, it's kind of cheating. So I don't want to give anything away. So I'll wait till later on. You pick the mental guy. All right, Ollie, good. I assume you mean Beast. So my team is Beast as the leader. Brains as a leader. Not often done, but I always appreciate when it is because logically it should be. And also Strength because, yes, even though he has brains, he also has bronze as well. Forge, wow, another one, a strategist, technopath. And Nightcrawler is speed logged in. I'm not going to nitpick, but technically that isn't speed, but I get your point. Very smart team. With brains between Beast and Forge alone, you by far have the intelligence locked in. Beast is a former Avenger, that's true. Beast is also a former Avenger. Rogue technically was an Avenger as well. A lot of these characters have fit as Avengers too. And X-Men Mr. Sinister will turn him into Dark Beast. Uh-oh, we're talking about Dark Beast. Ooh, scary. But Dale's team already locked in. Just giving out fun facts. I appreciate it. Okay, Inigo Montoya, your last pick, officially locked in, is Iceman. So his team consists of Inigo Montoya's team is Iceman, Banshee, team leader. That's right, because Banshee has served as a team leader and was also very influential with running the team of Generation X with Emma Frost. Good. So, all right. So Iceman, team leader Banshee with Iceman. Iceman, Psylocke. Iceman is a powerhouse. Interesting. I get it, technically speaking, but yes. Sunspot for money and Warpath. Okay, very good strategy for Inigo Montoya. As he says, I'm going to repeat everything he says. He is going to say Banshee, team leader for flight, Psylocke for telepathy, telepathic ability, and ninja skills. Iceman as a powerhouse, Sunspot for money, and Warpath for tracking. All right. Cool team. A very good ground level team. I know some of these characters can fly, but I think they're a good street squad for sure. Samurai Productions is happy. With his Thinking Man's team, Ron Hawthorne says I remember Dark Beast was astounded that the X-Men depended on Hank for so many different things. When he was impersonating him. That is very true. He is definitely the Mr. Fix-It. And again, this goes into the like Forges there. How come they don't? Why don't they make better use of Forge? But yeah, Beast is capable of turning SR-71 into a spaceship, or whatever nonsense they want him to do. It's like, hey, can you wang out time travel in the basement? Yeah, sure. Give me a couple of hours. Stars and Garters. Give me a couple of hours. And I'll just whip up I'll just whip up a DeLorean or something like that. Yeah, Beast is like bizarrely smart in like so many different fields. Something that's never really been discussed or talked about is it has been proposed that perhaps Beast's brilliance is actually a latent ability, a latent side effect of his mutant ability, seeing the fact that he has bigger hands and feet, but also strength, different side, bigger muscles. The brain is a muscle, so perhaps his higher intelligence just comes from that muscle being stronger as well as the rest of his other muscles. Raw Reflex says, I'm going by the graphic novel histories. Very cool. Picking one continuity does make Rogue a little more easier, but for me, because I look at all forms of media, her inconsistencies have driven me crazy. If she was always portrayed like she was in the 90s cartoon, where she was a lot of fun, had a lot of southern expressions, and wasn't so introverted and wasn't pushing people away emotionally, if that was the Rogue, it'd be a way different story. But because the introverted Rogue I don't personally like, so, and I get it. I talked about them in this episode, I'm not going to rehash it. Only go my print novels and graphic novels, not comics, but visual representation. That too. Hey, Hassan, joining us pretty late, but hey, if you want to play the game so far, we'll wait for you. Raw Reflex, Rogue, Havoc, and Psylocke, Forge, and Longshot. Yep, solid team for sure. In terms of actual power level, you might have you're you might have a really strong team that might get overlooked because again, Havoc's concussive blasts are very strong, and some have even made it seem that it is more powerful than Cyclops'. Psylocke, when she's off the chain, she has a lot of psychic ability. She has a lot of raw psychic energy too, and as you mentioned, she's definitely the best fighter on this list so far. And Rogue's powers again limitless. So, yeah, pretty good so far. Oh, want to ask you, what do you thought of Doomsday Clock? Hassan, I just don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's necessarily bad, but Watchmen was, and always shall be one graphic novel to me. That's it. I don't need any book. I don't need any supplementary books. I don't need any movies. I don't need any TV shows. Watchmen was done right the first time, and that's that. So while nothing in Doomsday Clock I think is necessarily bad, the big reveal at the end was kind of interesting, and it makes me nod my head. But there's one Watchmen book forever for me. Beast is always overshadowed by the other geniuses in Marvel. Yes, I think there was a period of time, like when he was on the X-Men, on the Avengers, Tony wasn't that big of a deal. So I think, unfortunately, the popularity of Tony in the movies has caused him to lose a few spots. Don't get me wrong. In terms of Marvel, Reed was, and always will be the smartest human being in existence. That's just how it goes. Iceman is a member of X Factor from the animated series, working with the original X-Men. That's right, he was a founding member of X Factor in the comic books, because the original X Factor was actually the 5 original X-Men. Robert Ruthless says, I like Rogue, but notice that I put Psylocke as the leader above her. Plus, Rogue and Psylocke both seduced X-Men. That is true. I think they occupy two different types too, so you kind of cover a few, you cover some extra bases. Why is Rogue so southern? Well, they tend to do this in the X-Men Evolution, which I actually like this aspect of it, because, like, in X-Men Evolution, they, like, aside from her accent and her origin, they didn't really tap into her southern roots as much, where in the X-Men 90s cartoon, they actually portrayed it very much. The short answer, Harry, is because she's from the South. But one thing they did in X-Men Evolution I liked is that the way her and Gambit kind of got together, where they were talking about the food, no surprise there, they were talking about the food since, she was, since they were both from the South, him from Louisiana, her from Mississippi, not exactly the same thing, but they were able to share that common ground. So it wasn't the sole relationship for their attraction, but it gave them something in common, something that they felt, being in New York, or spending time in New York, they kind of didn't have. So it showed they had some common ground, which I actually thought was an interesting touch. Ron Hawthorne, Teen Beast was even dabbled with magic. That is true. When the original 5 were brought to the present, that is right. I love that arc. That was an arc that I thought, it lasted way too long and outstayed its welcome for me. But that was an arc that I thought sounded so stupid when they mentioned it. And then when the book came out, first of all, I love him as an artist. But then on top of that, the storyline was just really, really good, and I couldn't believe how solid that story was. Dale says, also a member of the X Factor. Yes, the original X-Men. Thank you, Dale. Nico Montoya says, Iceman can create an army out of army of Ice Hulk, so he can make a small army for my team. That is also true. Another talent he has. Base of 12, welcome. Technically, Reed's daughter is smarter than him. Yeah, prove it. Yeah, accolades, scoreboard. Hope Summers going to be on here? Maybe. Maybe not, Base Up. The fact that I'm revealing them slowly should have tipped you off that I'm not going to tell you now, isn't it? But your powers of deduction may or may not have failed you. Anyway, well, they say technically Valeria is smarter. Scoreboard. It's like, have you ever heard them say, like, babies learn language faster than adults? Or they're capable of learning language faster than adults? Well, common sense, that's an old adage, but common sense and science will prove otherwise. Case in point, ask a baby to say something in a foreign language. Then ask an adult, tell me which one says it faster. Babies haven't processed actual language yet, so what makes you think they can pick it up faster than an adult? The actual proof is who can actually speak the language easier, and I'm going to tell you right now, the average adult's going to pick it up way faster than a 6-month-old. So, think about it. Again, use facts and evidence to actually support your claims, and you'll notice that all kinds of wacky things people say aren't true. Psylocke also knows villainy. So does Rogue too, because she was a member. Yes, she was, but hey, Rogue was a bad guy too, so maybe you got a thing for the ladies who turn bad. Next time, worst comic book movie gauntlet, don't forget TMNT 3. I've never seen that. And that's if we go with another round, but good to know. To be honest, Ali, wow, saying the same thing. I thought you're not much of a comic book guy. How would you know? See that? People who don't even claim to like comic books are more than happy to use the O word. You see that? Dale says Cyclops and Havoc fight each other and their immune abilities counter each other out. That's right, they don't have anything. Dale, you just randomly naming facts. Ron Hawthorne, Reed and Doom are number 1 and 2 in terms of intelligence. Everyone else falls into some place under that. I know there are some people who say that, but Tony has outsmarted, in recent years, again, Tony has outsmarted Doom. And T'Challa, like, T'Challa, I think, can as well. Base 12, Reed himself said his daughter was smart. Oh, because parents never just give praise unto their kids. Oh, yeah, parents never say that. Oh, my daughter's the best and blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, no. Because he said it must be true. It's not him gushing over his own kid. Just like when Batman says, "Oh, Tim Drake's a better detective than I ever am." Yeah, sure. Yeah, he means that. Yeah, okay. Don't be such a mark base up. You know what? I don't want your team. You're in the game too late. Everybody's been struggling with their hands in the muck the whole way through, and you're just gonna come on now. I don't want your team. You're not allowed to play. You can hang out here and you want and say all your nonsense, but you're not allowed to play the game. I forbid you, base up 12, from playing the game. Also, have not seen TMNT 3. Yeah, I haven't seen TMNT 3. Missed nothing. Yeah, apparently none of us have seen it, other than Harry, and apparently none of us have missed it. Well, I've seen the movie. That's got to count for something, right? Yeah, I guess. The dreaded O word around here, though. Ali, we try not to use it. I know V just dropped in and dropped the O bombo and then left, but whatever. Okay, so all our teams are kind of getting locked in. Are we ready? Who's actually got anyone left? Is anyone actually capable of going for the $10 tier? But I mostly meant Earth-based guys. Yeah. No. Of course, there are cosmic entities that are definitely way smarter. That's unfair. Yeah, we're talking about humans. Mutants are humans. Boo-hoo, base himself. Yeah, boo-hoo. Boo that man. Would argue that Thanos is smart. Yeah, but he's not a human. I mean, Tim Drake was able to figure out Batman and Nightwing's identity with no outside help or any real resources. Yeah, well, Ra's al Ghul too. Like, if Batman didn't know he was Batman, don't you think Batman be able to figure out that he was Batman? Oh, that's right, Harry. Sorry. Yeah, Harry. Wait, Harry, I think you're the only one with $10 to spare. Base up 12, I'm not even sure you can figure out who Base up 12 is. So yeah. Anyone other than Harry have $10 left before I move on to the next tier, because I might just move on since like it's now Harry is like the only person left playing the game. Bane did it. That's true. Bane did it too. Yeah. So So I'm aware he did that, but it's not like he's the only one. For record, T'Challa is your favorite Marvel smart guy. Fair enough. How do you feel about them making Shuri the smarter one in the movies? I have no problem with them giving her like more credit and more attention, but still, it does bother me that they made T'Challa not as smart as he's supposed to be. Apparently, I might not be the only one who is aggravated by that. I might finally see someone else who is on my side of the line with this. And after all, I shouldn't be cooler about this because Shuri made me an Avenger. Don't know if you know that. I have another video live stream where I talked about this, but yeah, it was in New York City. And there was an Avengers recruiting center. Shuri made some new armor based off of the Iron Man and Black Panther models. She combined the two of them together, and they needed people to test. I was there. She personally asked me to test out the outfits, the armor, which I did. It fit very snug. She got my size right and everything. But then Ultron came back and made a huge threat to the world, and I, along with some of my other new recruits, were officially dubbed Avengers, and then we had to go work with the Avengers to go save the world. And I did, with the help of Spider-Man and Ant-Man and, Captain America and everybody. So we all did this. I'm not crazy. This really happened. As I said, I already did an episode about it. Okay, anyway, Ra's al Ghul is the leader of League of Assassins and Spies and unlimited resources, and Batman is a billionaire with a satellite. Tim Drake was just a kid with basic detective equipment. Blah, 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 whatever. Iron Panther, yeah. Yeah. Oh, what about Bane? What about Bane, son? What about Bane? And yeah, Ra's al Ghul may be the leader of the League of Assassins, but guess what? He didn't use any of them to figure out to deduce that Bruce Wayne was Batman. No, did he? Now, did he? So yeah. While that might be true, he used common sense and detective skills too. Fool. Give. They needed to give her something to do. I really didn't like it, but I understood why they did it. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I get why they did it. I just rather. I was like, what? I just wish they didn't. Like, I probably wouldn't have a problem if T'Challa was just as smart. Like, if they were both. But, like, T'Challa's kind of like, there was like a James Bond scene where she was Q and he was Bond. And it's like he doesn't seem dumb or anything, but it's just like they don't, like, he can't, they make it seem like he can't build his own armor, which he should be able to, or like he barely seems under, or he doesn't really get how vibranium works, or at least not to the, not to a practical sense. Like if Shuri was like not there and they told him build an armor, the way it seems in the movie, he would just stand there going, what do I do now? He'd be, like he wouldn't have any to do how to take care of this stuff for himself. Well said. Well said, detective. How does Batman's voice go from normal? You can't change your voice, Ollie? He was literally locked. Yeah, that's right. Bane was locked down in a prison, son. That's right, Kurt Wagner. You tell that base up. You tell him how he's wrong. Because he is. And again, remember, I was an Avenger. Remember. Or still am. I mean, I don't think I quit. I think, it's a for life kind of thing. But yeah, so yeah. Remember, I, myself, am an Avenger, and Shuri made me one. So remember that. We'll figure out Batman as Bruce Wayne. Showing our best. Oh, yeah, no. Well, base up 12. There were plenty of times that your brother was here while you weren't. Maybe you're the same person, and vice versa. So anyway, apparently nobody else is still in the game other than Harry. So sorry for the delay. I might as well just reveal the top tier. So top tier, here we go. A lot of these are going to be no surprises for you. Top tier is Wolverine, not a shock. Magic might be a surprise, but power level wise, Magic, Colossus' sister, off the chain levels of power. Professor X, as well as another Omega level mutant, Storm, super powerful, followed by Dark Phoenix, Jean Grey. So yeah, Wolverine might actually be the lowest powered here, but for the most part, these are unprecedented levels of power. These are some of the most powerful mutants, in my opinion. Now, all of them are not Omega level. Now, Wolverine is here simply because of popularity. Professor X is the number one sidekick. Magic, her powers are insanely dangerous, as well as Dark Phoenix. Storm too, and the sad part is Storm is definitely someone to look out for. People kind of forget that. But with her having the control that she does, the emotional control she does, she doesn't get seen as, so sadly, she doesn't get seen as powerful as she really is. But when there's been times where her cool, calm, stoic persona has actually gone, and she's lost control of her emotions because her power is actually very much tied to her emotions. She has done unprecedented level things, and something that people don't quite think about very often is she controls the weather. How does she control weather in other planets, as the X-Men have traveled other planets? Now, sometimes she just is capable of creating Earth-like weather atmosphere, weather conditions, no matter where she is. So if she's in a space station, far out in space, she can still create things like lightning and tornadoes and stuff. Even though that kind of stuff doesn't happen in space, she's still able to do it. But other times, she's very dependent on the weather of wherever she is. So, like on a space station, she might not actually be able to do anything. But on an alien planet, she would be able to control all the weather of whatever that planet's weather is like. So, just food for thought. You're a Justice League member. All right. Another workman. No base up 12. You're forbidden. I told you, you're not allowed to do a team. A guy with common sense. If any guy with common sense was in DC Universe, could tell you who Batman was. Yeah, well. Apparently they don't have a lot of common sense there. If they had common sense in DC Universe, they would go to Marvel. I'm certain Gordon knew, that his daughter was Batgirl. Yeah, but kind of like a kind of respect thing. Yeah, in the cartoon and the revamp episodes, they did make it clear that, or they didn't make it clear, should I say? They made it seem like he knows, but out of pure respect alone, he doesn't really talk about it. It's one of those things that maybe he knows, maybe he doesn't. You don't know, and he just kind of like lets it go. So, where we stand on that one. Wolverine is Harry's pick, so Wolverine's team is Nightcrawler and Wolverine, a tag team as well. Summers, but you have Jubilee. Yeah, base of 12, deal with it. Doesn't matter because you're not allowed to play the game anyway, so who cares what you have to say? No Magneto, shame, but yeah, well, you couldn't pick her anyway. Jean's the strongest, Wolverine. I didn't put Magneto here because I don't count him as a real X-Men. Wolverine locked in. Storm is considered an Omega level mutant now. Yes, which is exactly why she's on top. As I said, Storm is normally pretty controlled. She's pretty in control. So it seems like, and controlling the weather by itself is pretty powerful. But when she has gone when she has lost control and has gotten really angry and gone on full fury mode, then all of a sudden you're like, wow, weather can do some weird stuff. Locked in. Storm and T'Challa used to date. They used to be married. Used to date. They used to be married. Marriage. You're a monster for making me choose between Cyclops and Emma Frost. Yeah, well, Dakari Garmin. You have to. I mean, you could theoretically just pick them and then pick somebody from the $1 tier. No Spike. No Spike. And that's on purpose. Spike sucks. Dakari Garmin, you got in so late on the game. You didn't even suffer with the rest of everybody. In the movies, we'll try to make... There's rumors that Storm's going to appear to be Black Panther's wife in a later movie, but I have no confirmation that they're actually going to do that, but I know people are spouting out like it's a fact. And on that, isn't him and Nakia on lock in the movie? I mean... it's I mean, that's not official, but, I'm pretty sure that's a done deal. Isn't that the way it's got to go? You're a Marvel guy. Pretty astute observation. Do not make me do my Bane impression. I won't be able to hear it, but yeah. Magneto is the guest in the X-Men's house. Yeah, so I wasn't putting him there. Storm was in a relationship with Wolverine, Black Panther, and Force. All correct. She even briefly got involved in a romantic entanglement with Cyclops, kind of. But we choose not to acknowledge that, because she has more common sense than that. I just... we don't talk about that. Have you picked your entire team, Dakari Garmin? I have. Yes, I'm going with Gambit and Kitty, which gives me $12, and then from the Gambit and Kitty and Jubilee Forge and Warpath. That's my teams. Okay, Kurt Wagner says Scott, Emma, and Jubilee as a sitcom $15. Family member style to clarify. Oh, but of course, Quicksilver hold Omega Mutant in a video game that I mentioned. All right, buddy. Does it take and bring his weapons to... Dale, you're all over the place, man. Storm was confirmed to be in the next Black Panther movie. When? And by who? And when did we get news of this? Why have I've heard nothing new. How have I not been told about this? Well, Alexis, you're left with $1 over. You might as well just take the entire bottom tier then. Surprise that no Cannonball Polaris. Polaris I almost put on here. Cannonball, I almost put him on the dollar tier as a joke because Sam Guthrie is another one that sucks to me. I got booking on my side. You do? Well, that's true. Wolverine kind of books you out of a lot of... will plot armor your way out of a lot of things. Yeah, so yeah, $15 team. So yeah, so well, that's the game. If you go, so yeah, make your final picks now, or now that you've seen the entire tier. If you want to put out, if you want to make a different comment or anything like that, just let me know. But your teams are already locked in, so we already know. Who do you think is the biggest steal on the board? Let's play this game as who do you think is the biggest steal on the board, and who do you think is the most overpriced? Who's the best value? Who's the worst value? Give it up there. Now, Magic was a lot higher, but if you know anything about Magic, you know why she's on here. She has to be the top tier because she is super dangerous with her magic teleport circle powers and scariness. And plus, yeah, in terms of scariness, she is frightening. Yeah. Okay, so Dakar Gammon says his team is Cyclops, Kitty Pryde, and Psylocke. I have my leader, Wildcard Operative, and Telepath / Huntress. All right, using Kitty as the brains of the team, I like it. Using Psylocke as the muscle, not the but not in terms of like the brawn, but in terms of just the physical, getting dirty parts. And Cyclops is the leader. And as we already established, you actually do have a team of 3 solid leaders there, Dakari. So also interested. And again, thank you for the support over on Patreon. And by the way, Dakar Garmin, if you haven't realized this, their brand new Patreon, some changes went to Patreon itself. So now I create a brand new tier system where in the tier system of the Patreon, if you go and you sign up, $5, $10, and $15 tiers, if you you got to re-sign up. Even if you were part of the tier already, you got to re-sign up. You will get on top of your, I'm still giving the shout outs, but I'm giving you access to special polls, and you could take in the polls determine the future of the Dave Knows Wrestling channel. So, what kind of content you vote on? What kind of content? The $5 tier level, you get to vote on which company you want me to talk about. I have different options there. Then, if you have the $10 tier, which that's where you're at, my man, you get two options. You get to do the companies, but then you also get to talk about particular subject matter. But then, if you go to the $15 tier level, you will also get to join in a special poll asking about which supplementary show I bring back for one episode, honest promos, kayfabe science, or cheaper pop culture. But if nobody's at that tier level, I will not be bringing back any of the shows. So you get to have a voice in how the show's made. Kurt Wagner says, "Ach," and you'll know a new definition of pain. What? Magic makes you, it takes you into limbo, and and yes. Forge is the biggest steal. Wolverine is the most overrated. All the hatred towards Wolverine today. Janelle Monet is playing her, but what? Really? But she won't be called Storm. She'll be Monroe. What? When did this happen? And not what? Why don't I know what? Crazy. Emma Price is over. Emma? Psychic. See, the other problem for me is psychics, it's like they're psychic. You can never put on, I couldn't put, they're just too powerful. Thanks for telling me. Hey, no problem, buddy. Thank you for the kindness. Is the biggest deal. Yeah, okay. I mean, Emma, because I feel like Emma right below. See, the other problem is Emma is a psychic. She may not be the most powerful, but she is the most doesn't care about the flagrant use of her powers. Like, well, the movies don't really portray it this way. In the comic books, Professor X only reads people's minds if he feels it's okay. He doesn't violate that kind of privacy. He's the most powerful telepath in the world. He could probably read all of Earth's mind at once if he felt like it, but he just respects that kind of distance. Emma don't care. Emma will read the mind of everybody she walks down the street with. She'll memorize everybody's bank account numbers. She does not care, and she'll use it to her full-blown advantage without even thinking twice. So while she may not be more powerful than Professor X, she's still very powerful, but just has the cuffs off and is just willing to go at it. This is why I put her where she is. Fader confirmed that the singer actress should know Omega plays some fucking. I just thought, where have I been? I just think that he's a 7-bucker at best. See, now, once upon a time, Wolverine was more I miss back in the day where Wolverine, he wasn't immortal like he is now, where you could, he could be bludgeoned. There was something, but now he's so powerful you could tear his head off and he will just come right back. So because of that kind of blatantly crazy healing factor, I put him at the top tier level because he's pretty much indestructible. Well, there's my problem. I don't watch MTV, and I wouldn't say problem. I would say that's a perk. No, then others can take it down. Everyone on that list. Yeah. Well, whatever. Base up. You still can't play. You're not allowed. This is no base up club. We'll mess you up. She has negative F. Yeah. See, Kurt Wagner gets it. I understand why some Marvel fans hate on DC so much. It's just as good or better. don't think that's true, but okay. I'm a Claremont guy. You gotta understand. Hey, I am too, but I try to take things. So yeah, so me and you, I'm a Claremont guy. We agree most part, but yeah, that Wolverine is the one part where we disagree. And it's like I get you. I prefer the Claremont days of writing as well, but it just becomes one of those things where I am acknowledging what they have done. Same thing like I said about how Iron Man is now like the second smartest guy in the Marvel universe. He never used to be. He's not supposed to be, but he is now. So I take it into account. I may not like it, but I'm just kind of taking it into account. Especially because if I don't, people kind of they get on me. They're like, "Oh, well, I guess you didn't know that." Blah blah blah. It's like, no, I know. So now I just have to take it all into. I have to soak it in. I want Cable. He's one of my favorites. Cable, I so wanted to put on this list, but I couldn't think of logically where I could have put Cable because Cable on the bottom two tiers doesn't make any sense, and like I couldn't put him any higher than that because if I was to put him on $5 or higher, who would I take out? Because I think Jean is overpriced. Because you can't trust Jean in battle. That is a good point. She's overpriced because of that wildness, but in terms of power level, she can destroy the solar system. Because this isn't Jean Grey. This is Dark Phoenix. So she's up there. Yes, DC has better comic books personally than Marvel. Right now, well, base up your troll. But right now, yeah, DC is doing better comic books wise. Historically, way not true. Silver Age, Marvel beats the pants off of DC. DC Silver Age was crap. Marvel dominates over DC in the Silver Age. Not even a question. Yes. No hate, Dave. I didn't mean to talk shade. No. I didn't think you were. Kurt Wagner. Cable is a 10. But who would you take? I mean, I guess you would say take out Wolverine, but here's the thing. I know if Wolverine was on the $7 level, he'd be gone. He'd be somebody a lot of people take up. But I also had a good feeling that a lot of you would suspect Wolverine is at the $10 level. Cable has the ability to be that dangerous, but with the techno-organic virus, I don't think his powers are at bay. So I don't know. No, Harry. I also don't count Wade as a member of the X-Men. Really, like I know he has been, but I was trying to reserve people I thought were true X-Men. Even if they were on there for a very small time. Like, Longshot was just someone I grew up with. That's why he's here. Thanks doesn't make it Deadpool. Yeah, that's true. I don't really think Iron Man as a comic book character did not exactly have super genius gimmick, but Robert played it well too. Yeah, no, he is a super genius. I'm not going to say that he isn't, but I'm just saying he's not number 2. He's not like right below Reed. Like, Reed is number 1 by a long shot. But again, you said you didn't read the comic books. How would you know what he's like in the comic books? You know, hard choice. It's a fun game. Yeah, it's a fun game. It's just impossible to pick. Another one that actually, like, I almost didn't put Longshot on here. Instead, I almost put Danger. Because I actually like the character of Danger pretty well. Marvel dominated CC in the Silver Age. Dave, where do you get those numbers? In terms of stories, they were much better. It's nothing to do with numbers. It's to do with which one I liked better. That's what we were talking about. Would you rather go back to Mopey and Wonder Woman being made out of clay? Would you rather see Technicolor Batman and Joker not really being around and purple collar Lex stealing cakes? Yeah, brilliant stuff. Marvel at that time had campy stuff too, but look at the comic books in the 60s by Marvel, and then look at the comic books in the 60s from DC. You tell me which one was better. He took on the entire Avengers single-handedly, leading up to AVX. AVX. Who are we talking about? Magneto? Oh, yes. Magneto and Iron Man. Oh, wait. He took the entire Avengers single-handedly. AVX. Yeah, who are you talking about? I'm confused now. Superman in his underwear. I'm not mad at that's better than the Beyonce rumors. That is better than Beyonce rumors. We're bringing back Halle Berry. Yeah. Like, well, looks-wise, I'm not complaining about either of those last two. But in terms of playing her, as a kid, I kind of wanted Vanessa Williams. But then the more I understood the character, I've wanted it to be Amon forever. And yeah, I guess it's not really going to happen now. But yeah, that's who I wanted because the regal quality that Amon brings to the role would have been, I was like, I do believe, don't get me wrong, I want to complain if Vanessa Williams had the role, but I'm just saying. For the late 90s, all Marvel had for a big screen was Howard the Duck. Damn it, Cable. DC villains were amazing. Gotta give them that. Silver Age Superman wanted to marry Supergirl. It's worse than anything. Yeah, that's right. Tell him. Regal, not that kind of Regal. Double A. Harry should never have played Storm. No. Most wanted Amon. Yeah, you get it. Yeah, you get it. You know, the thing about it, Ra, is like Amon is not someone that gets talked about a lot. But as soon as I bring her up for Storm, I've never met anyone who said no. That's stupid. They're like, yes. They're like, yes, I know who she is, and yes, you are right. And and I love that. Yeah, I don't deny though that there are people in this chat who are going to be like, who? But if you know who I'm talking about, you know I'm correct. I have no idea how old she is now, though. Like, I don't know what she looks like now. I have no idea how old she is. If you had to choose, you only had the choice to watch your favorite Marvel movie or favorite wrestling match before. Oh, I would watch my favorite Marvel movie. It's longer. Is nostalgia? Double A. I personally don't. I don't watch a lot of Nostalgia Critic. I've seen very few things from him. If not just, I don't really remember off the top of my head. But there was one thing in particular I remember him doing, which I did not like, and I'm not, I don't think he's bad as I'm not criticizing him as a human being or anything like that. I think he's perfectly fine. He's good. He's good at what he does. He's a fine presenter and all that. But the one particular review I watched, I was so against what he had to say that I said I'm not watching this guy anymore. So I just disagree with him. I want to make it clear, I don't know him. I've never met him. I know nothing about him as a person, but he seems perfectly fine. Not taken away from all of his success or his work. It's just I personally don't agree with him enough to watch anymore. NC is entertaining though. It can be. Hallie would have been better as the female Robin in the later Batman movie. Still, Carrie Kelly, but she's a little old for that, though. I mean, you'd have to go way back in time. Amon would be the best choice back in the day. Angela Bassett. Well, yeah, but she's already in the MCU. Hey, wait a minute. With Angela Bassett having all white hair and they're going to put Storm in a movie, that's... I mean, with T'Challa and all this, I'm just saying it's gonna be awkward. A friend of mine drawn Ninja Turtles versus Juggernaut, something that I wanted. Cool. What's your opinion on Captain Marvel movie? I didn't. I thought it was fine. What was the movie? Doctor Strange. Yeah, he'll play the heel more often than not, but he makes me laugh. Same reason I like The Miz. That DC has a better multiverse. Sure, which iteration of it? Which of the all 812 times they've rebooted it are you talking to? If you throw enough eggs at the wall, one of them is eventually going to hit. Amon is actually African. Yeah, well, that's what. Yeah, I don't want. And naturally looks and sounds like yes. Well, yes. To me, her, like I said, she's got the royal quality. Not to get double A excited, the royal quality for sure. She breathes like she is royalty. There's just something about her. She has that air and that quality to her. But I hate to bring this up because I do think it's stupid. But from the comic book continuity, Storm isn't actually African. She lived there for a very long period of time, but in the comic books originally, and again, I don't agree with this in any way, shape, or form, and I think it's dumb, and I wish Marvel would just retcon this already. Storm is actually from New York, and it's weird for me to complain about somebody from New York, but she's originally was born in New York. Her parents took her over to Africa, and that's when the plane crash happened, and that's when she was raised, and then and everything. They rebooted them only 3 times. Sure, yeah. There have only been 3 Crisis books. Yeah, sure. DC recognizes more than 3 reboots. Come on, Mark. Multiverse DC thing. Marvel should stay in their lane. I agree with that. There should not be a multiverse in Marvel. I agree. Marvel have booted. Yeah, and I don't like that either. I knew you were going to ask, Harry. I knew you were going to ask. I wasn't planning on it, but I knew you were going to ask, buddy. Hold on. Oh, that was weird. We were ignoring that New York thing, Dave. I know. Look, Ra, I know. I know. Believe me. I know. I don't like it either. It's not like the worst story. Okay, I'll put it this way. For Storm, it's like a terrible, stupid story. Like, it's a terrible origin. But if you think about it from, like, her parents' side of view, it's kind of sweet. It's like, her mother was royalty. And then here's this photographer from New York who wants to get in touch with his roots. He goes back to the motherland, takes pictures, and then he meets his queen, and they fall in love, move back to New York, coming to America, and then they have a child together. Like, it's a beautiful, like, romantic, sweet story. Like, it's a great story if you tell that story. So it sounds great for them, until the plane thing happens. But that's the cool story by itself. When you're like, wait a minute, that's Rogue's origin. It's like, wait a minute, that's stupid. That's like, that's like saying, hey, what if Wolverine's origin was that his parents were the Notebook? Like that's just awful. Like, nobody would care about that. You can't ignore it. Base of 12, we can ignore anything we want. I choose to ignore you. Sometimes, or I'm trying to. Kurt Wagner says, you think that's the worst they did? No. Don't get it twisted, Kurt. I'm not saying that's the worst thing they did. I'm just saying that's terrible. I didn't say it was the worst. Read the reader's letters back in the day for X-Men comic books from 290 to 300 because I don't remember the exact number, but originally, yeah. But again, we don't talk about these things. The best way to retcon is if all people forget about. That's right. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are Magneto's kids. They are. Yes, exactly. And I'm like really confident they will be, like, again. Crisis on Infinity Earth, the 0 Hour, Infinite Crisis, Post Crisis, Flashpoint. Did I miss any? Yeah, well, that's yeah. Well, you were also what about the reverse of Flashpoint? Flashpoint not being Flashpoint, and undoing the New 52, because that counts too. Reverting counts. Yeah, no, I know, Kurt. Yeah, no, like, as I said, there are a lot of terrible things that happened. Let's just, I posted a pic on our Instagram where she's dressed like Storm once. Ooh, really? I did not. Pun intended. Good for you, bro. I didn't know that. Man, nice. Dale Sanderford, I'm happy. Thoughts throughout. Well, you definitely do that. All right, nope. No, base of 12. Would you shut up? See, this is what I mean by being a troll. We're all on board with the same answer. And here you are trying to throw that Disney Marvel propaganda about Scarlet Witch and the Quicksilver. No. Shut up, you. Thoughts on Spider-Man and Sony? I can't wait till Spider-Man goes to Marvel, as he should. This is getting annoying. Have made Wolverine's origin that he was evolved into from a badger. Yeah, exactly. Certain things we just don't talk about. There's certain things that are just plain stupid. I'm telling you, dude, I didn't. No. I'm not saying that you're making an issue. No, I'm just saying, like, there's so many stupid things that happen. There's so many stupid things that would happen to all characters. The Wolverine evolving from an actual Wolverine was another really stupid idea. Glad that's gone. But yeah, there's tons of things. Yeah, it's not an issue. No, we're cool. I'm just saying, yeah, like, there's just so many stupid things that happen. No, it doesn't. The undoing of Flashpoint with Dr. Manhattan doesn't. Spoiler warning. Counts as a separate. I'm sorry. That's rebooting a universe. If you deboot, that counts as another iteration. Face. So, no, Harry, I'm not gonna ban him. He's just dumb. He's like Rena dumb. Like, he used to be a good troll, but he's slowly, like, sinking down. Because the problem with a troll is they ain't got the longevity. They just can't keep it going. You watch anime? Not at all, Ollie. Alrighty, folks. So I hope you guys enjoyed the $15 X-Men game. That's going to do it for me for this one. I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks so much. And maybe not. Who knows what will happen in the next couple of minutes. We'll see. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. And as always,